Um, I went out to convince myself to go dancing tonight. Somewhere around 6 p.m. It's like 11 now, maybe, I don't know. I started drinking, had a couple martinis, listened to some music, got myself psyched up, headed out, I don't know when, around 8:30, I guess. I was working on my rules as well. But I got about halfway there and turned around. It can't be that late. No, it's like 10 now. I suck. But anyway, left around 8:30. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to get there. I got probably most of the way, really, more than halfway by certain. And I just turned around. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. I'd already said, okay, I'm going to give up tonight, and I'm going to give up probably half of tomorrow recovering, because not only do I drink when I'm dancing, but I also completely dehydrate. It's crazy what happens, but I don't know, the thought just couldn't reach me. And then I started, on my way back, I think the problem was I got almost completely sober by the time I decided to turn around, but not really. I mean, I didn't really want to go, is the problem. Drinking made me steady enough to face going out and dealing with people in any sense. But I got to thinking about the same thing with Consim World, that, you know, this is the feeling that I'm getting there, is I don't see any value to it for me. I mean, what am I hoping for there? I'm not really hoping to have a good time. I know I won't, because I don't really, I don't know anyone yet. The last con I went to in the area, there was a con down in Mesa that was mainly role players, but then Magic, but also there were some minis players. I went and played some, I don't remember what, in Napoleonic or Civil War there, but very light. But it just came to I know I'm not going to really enjoy playing in a con situation. That's not how I enjoy playing. So the goal is obviously to meet other gamers from the area and maybe actually be able to game with real people. But then I thought about that, and I'm not sure that that's even what I want anymore. You know, I'm pretty comfortable with my life right now. Yes, I enjoyed it more when I had a great gaming group, but I don't know what my chances of finding a group like that at the age that I am really is. I mean, I'm probably going to find people who are about my age, have families, kids, and don't have the time, but also it's really unlikely that I'll find people that I share any connection with. That seemed so limited always, anywhere I looked, is people that I could connect with. And, you know, I think I just got very lucky in a couple of circumstances. Plus I was younger and less of a garrulous old bitch. Much less demanding. And, you know, now I've had such good things in the past, it's very hard to take anything less than that ever, when what I have right now isn't that bad. I'm able to play lots and lots of games. I'm scared of ever shaking my life up, I think. And, you know, when I first moved here, I didn't have my games here, and I didn't actually know that the hobby had gone on. I thought it was pretty much dead during the 90s, and I thought it had stayed that way. Well, obviously it wasn't pretty much dead. There was the beginnings of what we see now in place then, but I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it at the shops that I went to, for example. And it was either overwhelming amounts of games, and I would look at the old ones because they would be cheaper, or it was just not very much at all, and mainly stuff that I looked at and said, it just doesn't look that exciting. Made a couple of purchases. Anyway, right now, my life is livable. When I first got here, it was not quite as livable, not quite as comfortable. So I wanted to go out, and I would go to bars, and I would look for new bands, and I found something very quickly that was good. And then when that died out, I tried just as hard, and I couldn't find anything, or almost as hard. I couldn't find anything to match, and that was a step down from back in Eugene. Anyway, so you know, I was like, how much further do I want to degrade myself in chasing dancing? I feel very similar about how far do I want to go to chase gaming? You know, am I willing to put in the investment of a year or two with a group to try to bring them to the mixture that I liked? And do I even have the time anymore? You know, back then I was a kept man. That was easy. You know, I worked sometimes, but very little, and it was easy to fit in trying to push for people. And I didn't have something like making these videos, which has definitely filled up a lot of my time. You know, and when I tried reaching out to finding gaming in terms of going to a con that took a couple hours to walk to and a couple hours back, had a bad experience there in terms of a purchase. Didn't see any gaming that was at all interesting. Now, I'm sure I'm going to see stuff that's interesting at Con World, but it just, you know, it kind of turned me off of trying to do that again. And likewise with the dancing, I'm just not finding what I wanted at all anymore, or anything close to it. So, and then there's the high cost, and not in terms of money, but in terms of time. I mean, it takes me an hour each way to walk. It takes that night, and it does take the recovery period afterwards. I end up aching all week from it because I'm an old man. But it's just it's so hard to want to make any kind of change at this level when things are fairly comfortable. When I know I can get a flow of good solitaire games, I get plenty of social interaction at work, telling people to shut up and talking to my computer. But you know, I mean, I certainly get to see people enough. I don't maybe get the exact kind of interaction I'd like, but I don't know how likely that is. Again, I feel like it takes that year's investment or whatever, and at least now, because it would be such seldom gaming happening. You know, I look at groups and, yeah, we get together once a month or whatever. Well, that's not what I want. I want a few times a week, at least once a week, with something fairly solid, with people that I get along with well, which are fairly rare, and I don't see the likelihood of that, especially among people my age. Now, you know, my thought is, okay, if there's stuff going on with younger people in the area that we can try to pull in to heavier games or whatever, I think that would be a solution. I think that would work well for me. So, I mean, I'm gonna show up at the damn thing. I'm gonna fork over at least a weekend's worth. But the idea of doing a whole week-long monster game with people I don't know in a situation I don't know, boy, that scares the hell out of me, and I can't face that. I really don't think I can. Plus, you know, I'd have to take off work. I actually think work might be more fun. We'll see. Hey, maybe I'll be fired by then because I'm having too much fun at work. Anyway, I thought I'd just vid this because it's going to take me a while to get what I'm working on. Sword of Rome is the next one up for anyone who's interested in the games and gets there. I picked up some new ones. I don't know if you guys can see, but picked up a couple new space games. For the People, which is over here, and Italia as well. The pile just keeps growing, and I've got older things that I really want to play, so I'm going to try to intersperse and do every other. That's for those who care about that. Anyway.